These garlic cloves you see here, I planted them in a small pot without needing to use seeds. In this video, I want to share with you the complete process from the day of planting through all the stages of growth and care until the harvest, and provide detailed insights into each step, including the best practices for watering, soil preparation, and pest control, so that you too can have a bountiful harvest of garlic in pots without needing to look for seeds. The first thing we are going to do is prepare the garlic cloves that will serve as our seeds. A secret I can share with you here is to leave the garlic cloves we are going to use in the refrigerator for at least 2 weeks. This process is called vernalization. It will help our garlic sprout uniformly and form better bulbs or heads. The next thing we need to do is separate the garlic cloves. We will choose the larger cloves to use as seeds. The larger the cloves we plant, the larger the new garlic heads we will harvest will be. We can use the smaller cloves in the kitchen. Now we are going to prepare the soil in the pot. The size of the pot shouldn't be much of a problem. As long as it is more than 15 centimeters deep, it is sufficient. Regarding the soil or substrate, it shouldn't be too complicated either. I am using soil that is not the most suitable for use in a pot. As you can see, it's soil that compacts a lot. It's quite plastic, so it won't help with good drainage. Ideally, for a pot, the substrate or soil used should drain quite well. But as we will see, this won't cause a major problem. Garlic, just like onions, as you saw in the video about planting onions without seeds and in a pot, is not very demanding with soil. The important thing is that the soil has good organic matter, is fertile soil, and in this case, I am going to add a bit of worm compost to incorporate more nutrients and organic matter into the substrate. When planting our garlic, it will be very important to consider the shape and position in which we are going to bury them. We will ensure that the garlic is placed with the tip facing upwards, and the base part facing downwards. Never lay them flat because that will affect the development of the garlic, so we will make sure that the garlic is upright. To bury it, we will simply push it a little into the soil. It doesn't have to be very deep, just enough for the tip to be above the ground. And regarding the distribution, as you can see, I always use the distribution in the shape of little triangles or diamonds to make the most of the pot space. The important thing is to leave at least 5 or 6 centimeters between each garlic, so that when they start to grow, they have enough space to develop. As you can see, that's the position in which I place the garlic. As you can see, the garlic or the garlic clove is completely upright, not too deep, and I just cover it with a bit of soil without needing it to be very deep. It will also be very important for these first days to keep the soil moist with constant watering, ensuring that it never dries out, because this is precisely what will make the garlic sprout. The important thing will be to check the soil every day. If the soil starts to dry out, give it a gentle watering with a sprinkler or a bottle with small holes. If the watering was adequate and consistent, in just 8 days we should see our garlic already sprouted. In my case, practically all of them sprouted. As you can see, some are bigger than others, but in the end, they are all sprouting. In some cases, depending on the climate, temperature, the moisture the soil has had, the same conditions of the garlic and the time they were kept in the fridge, they might not have sprouted by this time, but there's no need to worry. We can wait another week and assess if we need to replant. In my case, by day 13, the garlic looks like this. They are already starting to develop their leaves. They look much more developed and larger. As you can see, I have one garlic that hadn't wanted to sprout, but by this day, it started to sprout. So, as you can see, not all of them necessarily have to develop and grow at the same speed. By these days, most of the garlic should be sprouted, so if they are not sprouting, by day 14, 15, or at the latest by day 20, we have a problem and should replant with different garlic cloves. Around day 75, as you can see, my garlic looks much larger. Their leaves and stems are quite developed, but as you can also see, the grass has grown a lot. I have to admit that I neglected them for quite a few days, and the grass had time to grow. When we plant in pots, it's even more important to keep the weeds in check. These weeds will consume nutrients that the garlic needs. They will consume moisture, which the garlic also needs, and, eventually, if they grow too much, they will cover the garlic leaves, preventing the sun from reaching the garlic and stopping them from fully developing. That's why it's important to occasionally check the pot and remove any traces of weeds. Also, keep in mind regarding the development of garlic. Garlic, like onions, is quite demanding in terms of the amount of direct sunlight they need. Garlic requires at least 8 or 9 hours of direct sunlight. The more hours of sun or direct light, the better the garlic will develop. Fewer hours will slow down their development, and very few hours won't allow the bulb, which is essentially the garlic, to thicken. This is a crop that we cannot keep indoors or in places near walls that, for some reason, might block afternoon sunlight. So, let's choose the location for our pot wisely. After day 100, 110, around 3.5 months, we can start to notice that a small ball will appear on the most central stem. That little ball is the garlic flower. By this point, the garlic is almost completing its life cycle, and it's important to remove that flower. That flower will consume nutrients and prevent the bulb from developing properly. We will also notice that the leaves will start to wilt a bit, they will begin to dry out and droop. This is an indicator that the garlic is finishing its life cycle, and at this point, the garlic itself, meaning the bulb, the part we are interested in, is finishing thickening. Around 120 days, it will enter its final thickening stage, where the garlic will channel the nutrients from the stem and leaves into the bulb. This will help the garlic itself become a bit thicker. To encourage this process, we will create a bit of stress by bending the leaves, tilting the stem, so that the garlic knows it needs to channel all those nutrients stored in its leaves and stem into the bulb, into the garlic part. At that point, after a couple of weeks, the leaves will be almost completely dry. Those images you are seeing there correspond to day 130. My garlic was ready to harvest, as you can see, and as I mentioned, the leaves dried up. Now at this moment, we are going to do the harvest, which is, I think, the easiest part and what we look forward to the most. It's quite simple. We just pull on the stem, shake a little to remove the excess soil from the roots, and repeat the same with all the garlic we have for harvest. In my case, as you can see, my garlic turned out a bit purple or pink. This is due to the type of garlic I planted. It's a local variety, a type of garlic that is planted in my area, which is a smaller garlic that is harvested quite quickly. But despite being smaller, it has a much more concentrated flavor and a stronger smell than the white garlic, the American garlic that we find in supermarkets. Other considerations you need to keep in mind, or to recap what we talked about during the video. It's very important, in the planting process, the amount of sunlight the garlic will receive. The more sunlight, the faster and better the garlic will develop. Regarding watering, it's quite important in the early stages. That's what will ensure that our garlic, what we planted, the garlic cloves, will sprout well. Later on, it's not as crucial. It's not like the plants will die, but it will delay the growth of our garlic. I also invite you to visit the channel, subscribe so you can see other videos on different crops like onions, radishes, lettuce, among others. And I will also be uploading more videos of this type in the coming weeks. And if you like this video, I invite you to leave a like, a comment, as that helps me a lot.